Neck Deep was one of my favorite bands in high school, so let's make something like Neck Deep. This is going to be inspired by In Bloom. So before we begin, I do have a couple things set up here. I've got a main heavy guitar, which is using my Big and Sharp patch from Matchless Custom Shop, the preset pack for Amplitude 5. It's right here. And then we have some left and right guitars that are using the Vinny preset, a little modified. I just lowered the room, also in my Custom Shop preset pack. The right guitar is the same thing, just on the right. Bass track we haven't done anything with, but I just know I'm going to need bass, so I have it there. And drum track, which is a little more in depth. This is the setup. So we got this hi-hat, this tom, this kick, that snare. This is the mixer. We've got a little bit of EQ and compression on the kick, a little bit of EQ, compression, and gating on the tom. Same thing on the floor tom, and then a little bit of compression on the entire kit. Lowered the ambience, took out some bleed from the toms and the overhead, lowered the kick out. That's it. Sounds like this. Pretty pop punky. So I'm going to try and just kind of remember how to play In Bloom. It's not going to be perfect, but I think that's the point. We don't want to recreate the song exactly. So it's going to be quite different. I'm going to start with the vintage guitars first, and then I'll probably add some heavy guitar as well. And I'll probably add some guitar later, but this is just like a nice template kind of setup. All right, so we got this guitar part in the left and right. It's pretty simple. It's not exactly how the song goes, but that's fine. We don't want to replicate the song completely. This is the verse and the chorus. Pieces back together if you don't let me get better. So we're going to mess around with some intervals now. We don't want to play the exact same thing on this heavy one. We want to play something more of a lead, like something like that. Cool. I'm going to copy and paste that in the last chorus too. Now we're going to want another guitar for just some filling out. Either a lead or something to layer on. I think I'm going to go for something to layer on. So I got this. Cool, I have to do some mixing, obviously, to clean it all up, because it is getting a little dense. I just realized these mics are panned, which makes a lot more sense, because I'm getting some weird stuff happening. That sounds much better. Let's add some drums. I don't have enough hands to play it right, so I'm going to have to do two passes, one with the hi-hat and snare, one with the kick. Okay, so now we've got the entire drum kit, and then I'm going to tune that snare to the key, which should be might be a little too low. There we go, a little better. To the fifth. Cool, it's going to sound really good with the reverb, but we'll worry about that in a second. Let's do some bass. We're going to go with the pre-bass, I think, is probably the best idea here. Going to bring the bass in on that second half of the first verse. Let's do a long here. Let's go into my perfect bass, or ultimate bass. What do I call it? Ultimate bass rack, yeah. So it's going into Amplitude 5 for the bass amp. Bass amp is this right here. It is going into a decapitator. Then it's going into a bass lane. Then it's going into a MB. Then it's going into an EQ. And then it's going into a Relife, which is by Analog Obsession, and it's free. And that sounds like this. Now for some rock, we want to increase the drive. But maybe a tape. Maybe a Pultec. I'm gonna cut the bass out there, I think is probably a good idea. All right, now we can actually mix into Slate VSX, which is what I'm going to use to mix. You guys won't hear it, but I'll hear it, so we should be able to make good mix decisions. So I'm going to put that on, and we should also add our sends here. Going to add all this stuff in. There we go. Add some room into there. Might be too much. Maybe the ambience here. Or the non-linear. Then we'll take the sends off, see what we're doing here. Now, we'll do a bit of EQ on these as well. We can cut it as well. That's better. Off. Much better. Add some space. And then I might actually use a little bit of soothe on that high end. Yeah. Take that out. Much better. Get that guitar in there now. Let's get that tape delay. Maybe I want to throw delay in there too. And then because we're adding some delay, we can also clean it up with some EQ. It's getting all spacey and washy, so we can clean them up a little bit. I do want a little more of that tone in there. Maybe something like that. Take it off. Yeah. Now, obviously that kick is way too thumpy. We can probably just ease off on that compression. Ease back on the attack, maybe. Yeah, because you can hear it. You can still hear it. Now, this bass needs some high end, for sure. And it's always a good idea to humanize and randomize the velocity a bit. So let's go to randomize and just do it lightly, something like that, and humanize it a bit. Let's do just by 6%. I forgot we have to add piano and everything. And then we can actually add some RX too. I don't know why, I just love it. RX is so nice. Really, really fast compressor. Add some harmonics into it. Like that's wild. Ooh, something here I want to fix. That. Cool. No, I think that snare needs some reverb on it too. Too much. Nice. All right, I'm gonna bypass my VSX real quick, and I'm gonna jump back into the Scarlett because I got to add some piano. All right, now for some piano, we're gonna jump into Kontakt. Kontakt's got this beautiful Alicia's keys. It's amazing for pop, so we'll just do that. And then in order to brighten it up, we're just going to put a Pultec on there. Get some nice air in there. Just a little broad EQ on the drums would be nice. Something around here. That's where the majority of the snares coming from. Let's bring the plate down. Bring the room down too. Bring that down too. This would be nice with some tape saturation on it. That's fine. Could also benefit from the same thing. Too much though, too much low cut. We can actually clean these up by going into the amps and changing the rooms. I think the room's just a little bit too big. I think it's better if we switch it to the studio room. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna turn the hi-hat down a bit because it's a little loud. Might not even need the hi-hat, I'll probably just use the overheads. That sounds good though. Alright, on the master channel, we are gonna do a little bit of multiband EQ, multiband compression, sorry. Go to the loudest part here. Then we're going to go into some tape with the good old Tape 80. That sounds good, and then just a bit of limiting. And we should be good. All right, let's listen. And that's it. I think it sounds great. Really happy with the result. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.